Chapter 1. The Time I Cut Myself in Half. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Rumi. This is going to need ointment. Aisha Tyler. When I was about 5 years old, I stabbed myself in the chest. Well, not exactly stabbed. More like sliced. Yes, I sliced myself nose to navel, as if conducting a frog dissection in science class, only without the relatively sanitary tools, face protection, or pursuit of scientific truth. And also, on myself. I could say it wasn't my fault. I could protest that it was an accident, unforeseen, unpredictable, unkind, unfair. None of that would be true. I did this on purpose. I knew exactly what I was getting into. The entire debacle was calculated, focused, and gleefully headlong. Before you gasp in horror and thinly disguised pity, this was no suicide attempt. People have called me a lot of things, but one word they have never used is depressed. I am, fortunately or not, depending on your perspective, nauseatingly upbeat, disgustingly cheery. Please withhold your disdain. This is a genetic condition. Much like synesthetes or people who love musical theater, this is just how I was born. I was not trying to gut myself. At the same time, I can blame no one else for the bloody vertical striping that occurred. I courted that stabbing, poked at it with a metaphorical stick, taunted it like a rangy pit bull behind a wobbly storm fence, mocking and laughing as it slavered in captivity, right up to the moment the dog leapt, snarling against the wire, knocking the fence to the ground like a structure of drinking straws, and me, face first, into the dirt. Or, more accurately, face first into the hot, abrasive summer pavement. Some might call such behavior stupid. They would be 100% right. Here's the thing. I am uniquely, and occasionally quite stupidly, fearless. I have never been afraid. Well, not truly afraid. I've had moments of trepidation, acted tentatively on occasion, tiptoed towards my fate timorously, doubts creeping, internal alarms blaring. Occasionally, I exercise a bit of caution. But more often, and to my sustained chagrin, I run sprinting toward my own demise, without consideration or forethought. I like to shoot first and ask questions about why there is a bullet lodged deeply in my own foot much, much later. So on this golden August day in my 5th year, I'd been playing outside in my Oakland neighborhood with a dusty scrum of local kids in a completely unsupervised group, the way we used to in the good old days, before the internet told parents that this was a terrible idea and likely to result in your child being abducted by aliens or devoured by wolves, along with kids riding the bus, doing their homework without parental assistance, read doing it for them, using a kitchen knife or an open flame before the age of 17, or anything else that builds character, instills mental toughness, or makes kids into actual people. We were all in various states of typically dirty late summer disarray, faces sticky with rivulets of many hours dried melted popsicle and festooned liberally with dirt, most shoeless and many shirtless, including, inappropriately I suppose in hindsight, me. Yes, I was running around a city neighborhood unchaperoned on hot pavement with bare feet and, worse still, a bare chest. I was a 5-year-old girl. I still had a chest. If you think it was inappropriate, you need therapy. Also, you may need to look out your front window and see if Chris Hansen from To Catch a Predator is lurking in your bushes waiting to strike. Now, before you jump into your time machine and call Child Protective Services, get over your prissy self. It was the 70s. Kids ran around unsupervised. This is before people felt the need to meticulously curate every minute of their child's day. In the morning during the summer, parents opened the front door and forcibly ejected their children into the street with $5 and a firm admonition to come home when the streetlights came on and not to run into oncoming traffic. This is just how things were done. I suppose if we were rich, the nanny could have followed behind us in the family's second minivan, but we weren't, and she didn't, and that, my dear friends, is that. So we were running around barefoot, narrowly avoiding puncture wounds from the abundance of rusted nails and broken bottles strewn liberally about the streets, fleeing rabid dogs and hissing cats, and the occasional loitering ne'er-do-well, and having the time of our fucking lives. We climbed some trees, chased an ice cream truck, terrorized a squirrel, picked up dried dog poop, threw rocks at things that break when they are hit with rocks, and were generally on raging kindergarten fire when we found an alley. Sweet. Naturally, it being an absolutely terrifying place, and me being feckless and wild, and needing desperately to show a certain neighborhood boy who was fond of picking up dried poo and throwing it at me that I wasn't afraid of anything, not dogs, or alleys, or least of all poos, yes, that is the plural of poo, poos, I decided to go into that alley. And why the hell not? After you've touched